You can learn about a woman's past not by what she says, but by her reactions, her glitches, slight flinch, an overreaction to a pause, or a sudden disappearance when the conversation gets too deep, all speak volumes. While most men try to uncover a woman's past by asking too many questions. A Stoic man understands that he doesn't need to dig, simply allows her to relive her history in his presence. Her every emotional storm, hesitation, and reaction reveals more than her words ever could. This is how you learn about her past without asking a single question. Reactions speak louder than words when you ask a woman. What's your dating history like? You lose something far more valuable than information, the trust she places in your silence. Stoic men don't interrogate, they observe. You don't need to ask anything to know everything, because a woman's past doesn't reside in her stories. It lives in her reactions. Watch how she flinches when you raise your voice slightly. Notice her discomfort when you fall silent, or how she tightens up when you mention loyalty, cheating, or trauma. That tension is the ghost of her past speaking. Her body remembers what her mouth won't admit. Stoicism teaches us to let people reveal themselves. All you have to do is wait. Is she quick to please you? That's not sweetness. It's a scar from rejection. Does she become cold when you give her attention? It's not a mystery. It's a fear of attachment. Does she constantly talk about independence? Perhaps she had to learn it after depending on the wrong man. The truth is written in her habits, in how she apologizes too much, holds back when you compliment her, or laughs while watching your eyes to see if it's okay. Her past is bleeding through the cracks. You just have to stop talking long enough to hear it. Most men miss this because they listen for words, but a Stoic man listens for tension. What she avoids tells you everything. Do you want to know if she has been hurt? Observe her reaction when you don't text back right away. Watch what she does when you take up space without apologizing, or when she's not in control. A woman still. Carrying pain doesn't need to tell you her story. She lives it every day. When you bring stillness to her storm, her reactions write the book for you. You don't need to ask. You simply need to observe what awakens her anxiety and what softens it. That's how you learn silently, powerfully. And without ever asking a single question, she reveals everything when she thinks you're not listening. She isn't hiding anything. She simply learned how to tell the truth quietly. If you're too busy filling the space with words, you'll miss the moment she drops the most revealing sentence of her story. Women don't confess when you ask. They confess when you don't. In the middle of a casual conversation, or after a laugh, with her guard down, she'll say something like, "I don't really trust people like that anymore," or, "I guess I learned too. Just handle everything myself." And she'll move on, change the subject, and smile as if it were nothing. But that was everything. It was her entire emotional blueprint, handed to you in a sentence that 99% of men would miss. It wasn't testing she was revealing herself quietly, to see if you would notice. Most men fail this moment. They rush to comfort her, relate her story back to their own, try to fix it, or probe deeper. This ruins the moment because now she knows you're not strong enough to hold her truth without trying to solve it. But a Stoic man doesn't interrupt or overreact. He simply watches, listens, and maybe nods. But mostly he lets her sit with what she just said. He understands that a woman's unfiltered past leaks out when she's unguarded. Not when she's being interrogated. She'll tell you about the guy who disappeared without warning while joking about ghosting. She'll mention how her dad used to leave the house when her mom cried while describing how she doesn't like conflict. She won't say, "I was abandoned." She'll say, "I don't like relying on people. It feels vulnerable." That's your moment. That's her entire past unwrapped, and she doesn't even realize she gave it to you. When it slips, it's real. You must hold it. File it in silence. Let it shape how you interact with her, but never weaponize it or bring it up unless she does. The moment she realizes you notice the quiet things she didn't even mean to say, you become dangerously attractive. Not because you're empathetic, but because you're tuned in. You want to keep opening up? Not because you asked, but because you earned it with your stillness. That's what separates the Stoic man from everyone else. He doesn't chase her story. He lets it surface. Because the moment she stops performing for your attention is the moment she starts revealing the truth of who she is. Once she does that, you don't just know her past, you earn her trust. Conflict is a portal to her past. You won't meet the real woman in your life over dinner. You'll meet her in the silence between texts or when she's angry, triggered or something doesn't go her way. Conflict, not comfort, is where the truth of her past comes alive. Anyone can be calm in still water, but when the tide shifts, the past crawls out. Do you want to know if she was abandoned? Watch what happens when you take space just a few hours, not days. Does she spiral, self-destruct, lash out, accuse, or withdraw? That's not about you. It's about someone else who disappeared first. Do you want to know if she was manipulated? Watch how she handles confrontation. If you say something direct and she shuts down, tries to control the narrative, or flips your calm truth into an attack, she isn't reacting to you. She's reacting to the man who used honesty as a weapon. A Stoic man understands that her emotional reactions are echoes. They carry the voices of men she no longer speaks of events she may have forgotten. Her nervous system remembers perfectly. You don't need to ask what happened to you. She's telling you in every fight, in her defensiveness, in how she apologizes too quickly or not at all. She's telling you in how she avoids hard conversations, takes control before she gets hurt, and tests your love before trusting it. This isn't her personality. It's her protection. If you are wise, you won't resent her for it. You will observe it. Conflict isn't a problem. It's a portal. It shows you everything. How she fights, forgives, and copes when she doesn't feel in control. It shows you whether she was taught to speak or suppress, to blame or reflect, to connect or run. Most importantly, it shows you how she sees you, not the fantasy, but the male presence she projects her fears onto. The average man will either fight back or shut down. The Stoic man stays still. He watches, listens between the yelling, and feels the wound behind the words. He's no longer hearing her scream, "I don't need you." He's hearing her past scream, "Please don't leave me first." In that moment, the entire map of her history unfolds in front of you. You didn't ask, dig, or push. You simply watched her lose composure and remained composed yourself. In that stillness, you didn't just learn her story, you earned her respect. The moment she realizes you're not afraid of her chaos, she stops hiding it and starts giving you parts of herself no one else has ever stayed long enough to receive.